Hello, I am Komal Punia, Engineering Physics third year, IIT Roorkee. I'll be talking about the read-only memory, construction and its types. So, there are two types of memories in the system. These are volatile and non-volatile. Volatile memory is that kind of memory which does not retain the information or the data when the power supply is switched off. While the non-volatile memory can retain the information even if the power supply is off. ROM, that is read-only memory, is basically a type of primary memory, and it can be read-only, but we cannot write on it. It is non-volatile, so data is retained even when the power supply is switched off, and data that is required to be stored inside the ROM is written during the manufacturing process. It stores such programs that are essential for the booting process of the system, or which cannot generally be altered. Uh, so we can see from the block diagram of the ROM that there are n inputs, and each n input line can either be 0 or 1. So they are basically 2 to the power k total address lines, and each of these address line contains m bit of information. So the memory 2 to the power k times m ROM. And there are two basic components, that is the decoders and the gates. The in ROM, the input of the decoder will be in the binary form and the output will be in its decimal equivalent. And all the OR gates present in the ROM will take decoder output as their input. So let's see the working of the ROM, how exactly the ROM works. So the ROM operates like an array. ROM chip contains a grid of rows of columns, a grid of rows and columns to turn on or off. It uses basically diodes to connect the lines if the value is 1, and if the value is 0, then these lines are not connected at all. Each element of array corresponds to one storage element in the memory chip. Like shown in the figure, these are the address line, these are the output lines. So they are basically the ROM is basically uh, differentiated on the basis of methods used to write data on the ROM chips and the number of times the data can be written on it. So classified into the following types, like masked ROM, then the programmable ROM, which is one-time programmable, then the erasable programmable ROM. The data can be erased using the UV light, and but it requires large time for erasing. So we have this electrically erasable ROM, where bit by bit erasing can be done, and the flash memory, where the memory block of the data can be deleted. So starting with the masked ROM, uh, it is a memory chip that is manufactured uh, with its content. So these are inexpensive and are the very first ROMs which were hardwired devices that contain a pre-programmed set of data instructions. They are used in network operating systems, server operating systems, or storing phones for lasers, etc. Uh, the the disadvantage with the mass ROM is that the design errors are costly. So what we have is that this programmable ROM. The programmable ROM is manufactured as a blank memory, and it is programmed after manufacturing. The user buys a blank memory from the manufacturer and enters the desired content using the PROM program. So prompts are basically the process of burning of the prom is the process of programming of prom is called the burning of the prom, and there are tiny fuses in the prom chips which are burned open during the programming, and the data can be programmed only once and cannot be altered. That's why these are one-time programmable. The They are used in mobile phones for providing user-specific selection, video game consoles, radio frequency identification, tags, etc. The biggest disadvantage of Chrome is that the data once burned cannot be erased or changed when detected with errors. So what we have is that erasable programmable read-only memory, EEPROM. It is a non-volatile memory. It can retain data even if the power supply is cut off. The basic limitation that it was being encountered in the PROM is that once it is programmed, it cannot be changed or altered. This limitation has been overcome by EEPROM. In the EEPROM, the data can be erased by exposing it to the ultraviolet light for the particular length of time. and after exposing, the chip returns to its initial state and can be reprogrammed. So in the PROM, what we use is that this floating gate avalanche injection MOSFET, that is FEMOS. So what happens is that the floating gate, here we can see that it is surrounded by the silicon oxide layer. So it is not electrically accessible. When we apply the high voltage between the gate and the drain, the negative charge the negative charge accumulates on the floating gate from the P-type region, and this result in increasing the threshold voltage, so that the transistor does not turn on at normal voltages. So when we want to program, we program by applying higher voltages, say 25 voltage at the word line and 5 voltage at the bit line. So this particular transistor gets programmed, and electrons even can stay in the floating gate for many years. To If we want to erase, we the erasing is done by using ultraviolet light. The electron will get excited and will overcome the SiO2 barrier and may move to the control gate, resulting in decreasing the threshold value. So the issue is here that the erasing is done using the the entire memory has to be erased, and also the writing process is cumbersome. So we require something which is much more flexible, and in which the programming can be done inside the circuit for faster operation. So we have this electrically erasable PROM, electrically erasable PROM, EEPROM. Here the erasing is done using the electrical signals instead of the ultraviolet light, and the erasing and the programming data takes from 4 to 10 milliseconds, and any byte of information can be erased at a time instead of the entire chip. And the chip can be erased and reprogrammed for around 10,000 times. So the process is flexible but slow. But the process is quite slow. What happens is that in the EEPROM, we have this floating gate tunneling oxide mode, that is Flotox. The oxide thickness is very small near the drain, and if the large voltage is applied, the electron will tunnel through the oxide and will get implanted into the floating gate. And in the reverse process, of the drain voltage is made very high and control voltage 0, then the reverse field electron implanted can be removed through the tunneling oxide. The electric field is aiding to the tunneling. So here electric field is used to implant or removing the charge from the floating gate. Uh, the extra transistor we can see in the figure is basically the select transistor, with which we can select particular transistor. So with its help, we select a particular transistor, and here we can erase bit by bit. So one bit at a time can be erased. These high voltages are generated internally, so does not need to remove them from the circuit for reading and writing. So here the reading time is of the order of the nanoseconds. Now coming to the flash memory. So it is basically a universal flash programming non-volatile utility used in computer as a storage medium. Uh, it can be electrically erased and reprogrammed. In this, memory blocks of data can be deleted and written at a particular time. So the applications include the latest technology computer, which use BIOS stored on a flash memory chip called as the flash BIOS, pen drive, small cards, etc. The advantages are that it has high transferring speed. The save data when turns off preserves its state without power, less prone to damage, comparatively economical to other devices and storage capacities, etc. The issue is that it is comparatively costly than the hard disk, and number of read and write cycles are limited as well. So this is all from my side. Thank you.